Dear Indian parents, this is how you make your children read. Hey guys, I'm Sankalpita and you are watching Book Geeks India, which is a channel where I make book related videos. If you like books, if you love reading, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos, turn that notification on. And guys, please do comment because you know it that I absolutely love it when you comment. Now, as most of you know, I'm a mother myself and I have a daughter who's soon going to be 5 years old. Now, I do read a lot to her and she reads a lot of books herself. Like, not exactly herself, but yeah, she does get help from her parents. But yes, she loves books, she loves talking about books, and she has a library all for herself. Now, since I post a lot of videos or sometimes photos or pictures of her on social media, one question that a lot of you ask me is that how Ahana reads so much. So in this video, I'm gonna be telling you exactly that. How as Indian parents, you can make your kids read. And here are 10 points that I would recommend to you. If you are a mother or a father, you would know this definitely. Children don't obey us necessarily. Children don't listen to us necessarily. But yes, it's true that they always watch us, they always see us. So children try to copy you. Whatever you are doing as a parent, whatever you are doing as an activity would definitely become an activity for your child. The kids would see you, they would observe you, and definitely they will catch up reading as a habit. Number 2, start reading yourself. They say it's always important to practice what you preach. And in this case, I would say the same for you. A lot of people, a lot of mothers actually question me this. They tell that we are no readers, but we want our kids to read. But it's really difficult. You have to be a reader first. Like I told you, children see you, they watch you. And when they see you enjoying a book and reading something, they obviously have that image in mind that this is a legitimate activity that they can spend their time on. So to raise a child who is a reader, you have to be a reader first. Number 3, nobody is ever too young for readers. Now I remember reading out aloud to my daughter when she was just 4 months old. And then she would just ogle at the pictures. She would try to make whatever sense she can at that age. I don't know how her brain worked, but I do know that she has always seen books as a part of life. So it was quite natural that when she was able to flip those pages herself, she would actually be interested in books, be interested in reading books. And now she reads books because that's what she's always known. Also guys, another major advantage of reading books to young children is that they pick up language skills very quickly. Number 4, make reading a daily activity. We do it almost every day. We have a set time for reading and it always happens without fail. Either it's me, and if I am busy, it's my husband. So we make sure that we always read to her, we tell her stories. My daughter would soon be 5 years old, but what I'm reading to her now is actually Ruskin Bond stories. So just last week I was reading The Blue Umbrella to her, and before that it was The Angry River, and she loves these stories. I don't think there is a particular age. When you start explaining to your kids, when they start asking you questions and you give them answers back, legitimate answers that will fuel their inquisitiveness, I think that's the best way to go about it. So make reading a daily activity, a routine activity, and I would recommend do it before bedtime. Like we have this thing, like I told you, 20 minutes before bedtime is a sacrosanct reading time. Number 5, you do take out your kids for buying dresses or buying clothes. You do take out your kids for restaurants or for buying chocolates and toffees and chips. One thing that I would definitely recommend if you are living in a bigger town which has a beautiful bookstore, sadly mine doesn't have it, but still we manage to go once in a while to a nearby town and we take her to book shopping. Now if you are a reader yourself, you would know the joy that comes on your face when you see stacks full of books and books and books. The moment you walk into a bookstore, that smile is there pasted on your face, and you know the joy that you feel. The same kind of joy you can inculcate in your child when you're taking them to a bookstore. So do this as an activity, do it as a family activity. If you're thinking about the COVID situation, you can always shop for books online. Nowadays I'm doing that for my daughter. Number 6, do bookish picnics. Now this can be done anywhere. If you have a backyard, if you have a balcony, if you have a terrace, if you have a beautiful field like I have in my town, so you can just go anywhere, plan a day without your mobile phones. Do not take any work calls, take away time from everything else, just take time for reading. Carry your books, carry your child's book, and do it as a fun activity. Do it as something that you all enjoy as a family. Number 7 is to cut down screen time. This is for yourself and also for your children. I often see parents giving mobiles to their children just because they want some time out. Never do it. You guys know me, I work a lot, I read a lot, but I never ever give Ahana a mobile just because I have to work. She has a lot of things that occupy her, she has a lot of books, and also a lot of activities that she does to actually spend her time. Go back to your own childhood, revisit your days as a child. Do you remember what you used to do? I remember I had this huge neem tree in my lawn, and on very, very lazy afternoons when everybody was sleeping in the house, I would just pluck those branches. Not a thing I would recommend, certainly, but that is what I did. So I would just pluck those branches and I would take out all the leaves and I would make big landscapes, like really big landscapes with those leaves. That was something I used to do on very, very boring afternoons. So your child does not need mobile phones. My child never begs for a mobile phone because she knows that mama will not give it. So whenever she is indoors, she knows that she has books to go to and she loves doing that. Number 8, and I see this as a very troublesome phenomena, the tendency for parents to only focus on the English language. We went into lockdown in March, and ever since then, Ahana has not gone back to school. And she has missed out on a lot of work. But what we did manage to accomplish in these months is teach her the Hindi alphabet. So now she's very familiar with Hindi. And being in Karnataka, where the second language that children are taught is Kannada, not Hindi, I feel very happy that she's now able to read Hindi words, very, very simple Hindi words. But nevertheless, it's a very important skill. So make sure that your children do not miss out on vernacular languages. So do not just buy books in English, but also in your language. I pride myself on the fact that I can read 2 languages, but my daughter would end up reading 3 languages, Kannada, Hindi, and English. Number 9, and I see this phenomenon mostly parents who have children either in the higher grades or in the middle grades. So a lot of parents think that if a child is reading a novel or a fiction or a story, it's a waste of time. No, it's not. A lot of parents want their children to read outside of what is taught in the school, outside of their textbooks, but they think that it should be only confined to encyclopedia-like books, the kind which are sold door to door by salesmen. No, that's certainly not what I would recommend. I would definitely tell you, give your child those story books, give your child those novels that he or she craves. If you are somebody who thinks like that, you have no idea how good these books are to children, how much difference they would make in your child's life when they grow up. So do not shy away from novels, from stories, from fiction. Point number 10 is also a little similar, and that says do not force your own tastes and preferences in reading onto your child. Now, this is something that you can actually mold a lot in the early years, but later let your child decide for herself or himself what they want to read. Right now, my daughter is very young, so whatever I read to her, she enjoys. Whatever I give her, she takes willingly. But even then, I see a pattern. I see a kind of fondness developing towards a certain author. Like right now, she loves Sudhamurthy books and Ruskin Bond books. If I tell her that a particular book that I'm reading to her, even on my Kindle, is from Ruskin Bond, she's very open to it. I don't know how, but that is her own preference as a child, and you will see it developing. Another example I can give you is that 2 months ago, I started reading a non-fiction book, a children's non-fiction book on Vikings to her. And this was a book which was actually meant for middle grades, but it had a lot of pictures, and that's what got her excited. Now, because I read to her and she kind of developed a fascination for Vikings, their culture, and their land, she now asks me to read more such stories to her. So it's her formative years, but even now she has her own tastes and preferences. I do try to tell her to pick up new books, to pick up diverse books, but I never force her. You can mold them, you can change their perceptions, you can make a topic more interesting, but do not try to force something on them. That is absolutely a big no-no. Number 11 would be to make a cozy reading corner and also a library of their own, which is very accessible to them at every point of time. Now, I have a lot of shelves in my house, and there's one particular shelf that I've given to her. Anytime she feels like it, she goes to the library, she takes out the book that she's willing to read. Of course, she makes a mess of it, but do not feel bad. It happens, they're just children. So you cannot always clean up after their messes. Sometimes you just have to let them be how they are, and that's how they learn. You find comfort in people that are accessible to you. You find comfort in books because they are always there. Similarly, you should also create that for the children. Books should be accessible to children at all points of time, and they should be able to reach out and grab out whenever they want to read. Similarly, create a cozy reading corner. I have this beautiful garden that I have created, and I have this swinging chair which I call the reading chair. I do a lot of my reading sitting on that chair, and because my daughter sees me, observes me, so she has also taken a liking to it, and she also likes to read there and call it her reading chair. So we often have these friendly fights where we both want to grab the same chair at the same time while reading. So I would recommend the same to you. Create a cozy reading corner and also give them a separate library and make the books accessible to them. Number 12, which is the last point, is that make reading a fun activity. So basically, my husband is also a voracious reader and my daughter is also slowly catching up. So we have this board game where we list out the books that we have read in a particular year, and we try to put all those books that we have read and just count the total. I obviously downplay the number of books that I've written in that board game, but yes, there's always a competition, a stiff competition between my husband and my daughter, and that kind of motivates her to read more. So whenever she sees that Ravi is catching up on the list, she's like, oh, Papa ज़्यादा books पढ़ रहे हैं, मुझे और पढ़नी है. And that is so amazing. I don't have to bother myself as a mother. My child is already learning to enjoy reading as an activity. So guys, these were the 12 tips and suggestions I would give you as a mother. These are the things that I personally do as a mother that has already turned Ahana into a voracious reader. She has a library of her own which is already 200 books strong, and she loves buying books like I told you, and she also loves reading them. If you are also raising a voracious reader like Ahana, let me know your personal tips and suggestions in the comments below. I am sure we all can learn together from it and we all can benefit from it as parents. So let me know all of it in the comments below. And also guys, if you have any questions on this subject, on how to make your child read more and read better, ask them away in the comment section below and I would be happy to answer them. And that's it from me in this video guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until the next video, which will be pretty soon. Bye.